Hello everyone, welcome back to FullGrownGaming's Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts. In this episode, we're going to start straight off by going into the library over here, and the library, I think I'm not sure if this is the same library, and I kind of skipped over that text really quickly, by the way. I believe that was Comma Volume 8, which we can put over here in this bookshelf, and it will move. And that is really the theme of the library here. But anyway, the library, I'm not sure if this is the same library that was in that flashback with Kyrie in it or not. I think it might be, but I'm not entirely sure. And there is actually some treasure in these spinning things they're actually all around the library, not just this specific one. And we actually got it in one turn there. As you'll probably see, I can only imagine that the ones upstairs are going to take 4 or 5 spins each. Wow, that only took, what, 2 spins, I think? So that's pretty good. And we get a mithril out of there. And we seem to be getting more and more mithrils, it seems like, as the game goes on. But on the shelf here, or actually not on the shelf, on the table, Theon Volume 6. And we can actually use the green Trinity to get this book off the top shelf here, which I think is like... Actually, I don't even know what this one is. It's a Volume 3, I think, if I remember correctly, though. And it's Azal Volume 3. I'm actually not sure who all these people are, like Kama, there's Mava, Azal, there's Saleg, Hafit, and I believe Nahara is the final one we get, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how they all fit, you know. But that book we got off the table here, I believe that was Theon Volume 6. We can actually put into the, bookshelf over here, and the bookshelf will slowly move aside, if I remember, yep, to reveal a button on the wall. That button right there is actually the only thing that you need to progress in the, the level here, because that unlocks the door. But if you want to get all of the treasure, you actually have to go pretty in detail to get all of the books in, whatever places they go. But there actually is some treasure up on top of the shelves here that is a little bit easier to get. A Dispel G, which I'm surprised they're giving me that, this late in the game. And out of this one, we get an AP up. And that reminds me, by the way, I have like 5 billion unused stat ups. If I can get to the right menu, I can show you. 4 power ups. And there's, like, I think a defense up, and I just got an AP up. I don't know how long I've had all of these, but I think it's kind of obnoxious how I haven't been using these. And another thing I just remembered is that I forgot to equip on Goofy, her shield. So I've gone, actually, we haven't really done too much to, since we got it, so we haven't really been at that much of a disadvantage not using it. But since we're in, Hollow Bastion now, it might be a good idea to actually equip that. But to go through this area here and get all of the treasure, this part right here was the one that confused me the most. You actually have to drop down into the middle here, which you can't get to from the outside. So that always confused me as a kid. And we can actually take, I don't know which one this is, Select Volume 6, and I believe we have a Mava, Mava Volume 6 we can put right here. This whole part right here, I don't think we have Mava Volume 3, no we do not. But we can actually turn back around, and I think that book we just got off the shelf right there, we can put right here, and it will move this one. But this part right here always confused me. I don't know why. It's really kind of straightforward, even though it doesn't really seem like it. I think if we go around the corner over here, there's going to be a yellow bookshelf that we can put one of the books we have in it anyway. Here it is. Azal Volume 3, that is going to be completed. And actually, what I was saying before about how this was the most confusing part for me as a kid, this right here was where I always got, messed up on this puzzle. Because you have to come all the way around the bookshelf, and there's a book just stuck right on the front of the bookshelf here, which is Nahara Volume 5, I think it said. So that one right there, I never really realized that it was there, because all the other ones we saw were on a table, or they were on, like, they were mixed in with a different color of books, so you could easily tell. But we can actually put Nahara Volume 5 in here to reveal another bookcase. So I always thought the orientation of this library was a little bit weird, but we can actually get Mava Volume 3, I believe. Yep, Mava Volume 3. And Mava Volume 3 actually goes down here into this bookshelf right here. Oops. Oh, that is another thing. I'm glad that happened. You can actually take Mava Volume 6 off the, shelf there, which you never would want to do, I don't really think, so that always kind of confused me too. I think I accidentally took it off the shelf, and I didn't realize I had it or something like that, and I always got, stuck here as well. But that actually opens up that bookcase, and we get our final book here, which is Hafit Volume 4. Now that we've completed that, I want to apologize for not having a video out for like 2 or 3, 4 days even. I don't know exactly what it was, but sometimes college gets in the way, I guess. And if we examine this, we can actually put Hafit Volume 4 into the bookshelf, completing the puzzle. Now, the next area we're about to go to is kind of funny to me because there's we're going into the lift stop, which is a pretty big area, actually, in the whole, scheme of the level here. But if we examine this, we're going to go on a ride on that lift. Just watch how long this takes. So a good 3 hours later, we actually get over here to this platform, and there's you might not think, like if you just got here, that there's anything over here, but there actually is. You have to, lock onto that. Actually, I don't know if you have to lock onto it or not, but you definitely have to cast gravity on it, and it will actually come down, and we are able to get an Ultima G, which is, obviously a gummy ship piece. I think it might be a laser. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, I'm going to speed it up this time, because we've already seen how long it took the first time. And here we are back almost in the library. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself, but here we are back in the library. Now this right here, this kind of reminds me, I want to go ahead and equip the Olympia on Sora, because I want to have a little bit more magic for this area coming up, and you probably want to save here and refill your magic, because over here there's going to be a puzzle that you probably want to have a little bit of magic for. Now the first thing I like to do is just go ahead and smash these pots right here. And there's actually some pots on the lower level that I want to talk about in a minute. Hopefully I don't forget, but, smashing these pots right here depresses that statue, which makes that, whatever that thing is, fall into the statue's mouth, and we're going to be getting a couple of those. Now another thing I want to do is go ahead and customize my magic and put fire on the quick magic menu, because we're going to have to be lighting pretty much all of these candles. I believe there are 8 around the room, so let me go ahead and do that really quick. So lighting all of those candles somehow makes that fire, I believe that was fire anyway, go out in the middle there. Now, wow, that's actually pretty good. We're right here next to the next part we need to do. And we have to use Thundara. Might as well go ahead and examine this, by the way. The stone is etched with a thunderbolt, which would, lead you to believe that you would have to cast thunder on it, and that is exactly what you have to do. And that's actually pretty good, just in case you fall off, you can ride that thing back up. But I believe there's a statue somewhere around the room. It would be on the exact opposite side of the room from where I was. But I don't know if you guys saw when I was speeding up doing the fire, the candle things. Here is a red Trinity. For those of you who have been counting at home, you might have realized this is actually the final of 6 red Trinities, I believe, in the game. I'll check the journal here. Let's go to Trinities, Trinity list, by the way. Trinity charge, 6 out of 6. We've actually completed a set of Trinities. That didn't actually seem to take that long, but, we are at episode like 31 or 2, so I guess it has been a little bit longer than I, thought at first. We can actually move the statue over here, by the way, to make a treasure chest appear down there. That treasure chest right there was another, point of contention when I was a kid, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But if we glide over here, we can get an emblem piece. And by the way, I just remembered that statue that we pushed off the wall always reminded me of Resident Evil, because when you push it off, it breaks into an emblem piece down here. It kind of reminds me of the first Resident Evil, because there's a part in the first one where I think you push a statue off and get a key out of it. So I think they were kind of referencing that there. In this treasure chest, we get another emblem piece. I guess I didn't realize when I was a kid that you have to push that shelf, or that, statue up there to get that, so I was always missing one emblem piece. And you might be wondering what we need emblem pieces for, and we actually need them, to get in this door right here. We need 4, one for each quadrant of the Heartless emblem there. But one more thing that we can get before we go in there, by the way, is actually up here. And the camera angle is probably the hardest part about this, but I made it without too much of a problem. There is I believe a power-up up here or something like that. And there it is. So let me go ahead and use that power-up real quick. And then to get in that door down there, all we need to do is examine it like 4 times, I guess, once for each emblem piece. And we're going to be getting a pretty cool cutscene with, a beloved character in it. So I hope you guys enjoy that.
Why? It was mine.
Know this. The heart that is strong and true shall win the Keyblade.
What? You're saying my heart's weaker than his?
For that instant it was. However, you can become stronger. You showed no fear in stepping through the door to darkness. It held no terror for you. Plunge deeper into the darkness, and your heart will grow even stronger.
What should I do?
It's really quite simple. Open yourself to the darkness. That is all. Let your heart, your being, become darkness itself.
So as if Riku wasn't already deep enough into the darkness, he's going even deeper, so it's kind of sad to see that happen. And you might be wondering why I'm coming back over here. I think I forgot to get a piece of treasure somewhere over here, so let me go ahead and try and find it really quick. And there it is. I knew I forgot something over here, and it didn't, it wasn't until I was sitting there thinking about it that I forgot to get this. And the reason I even thought about this, I was thinking about that Dispel G we got earlier and how useless that is late in the game, and we get a Tornado G out of that treasure chest, which in my opinion is pretty much just equally as useless. I don't know why they are giving us so many, first of all, gummy ship pieces, and second of all, like, old gummy ship pieces we could have got a long time ago. But now that we've done all of that, we can actually finally go into that door that we just saw. Wow, he doesn't really want me to go in there. I guess that's why he's called the Defender, am I right? But here is yet another, part of the lift stop here. What I like to do first is actually come over here and examine, the statue, or not statue, but crystal. Unfortunately, we can't do that until we take care of these enemies. Is that going to be it, actually? Well, apparently it is. There was only one there. But doing that allows us to go up to the upper level instead of the lower level, or whatever the other alternative was. And up here, we're going to be getting a pretty good piece of treasure. This is one I always used to, forget about as well, so that's why I'm going, to do it right now instead of waiting. And yet another one of these things is up here, so you guys really want to make sure you either have some ethers or you have the time to go back to the, save spot to replenish your MP, because there's a whole lot of those left in the level here. So you don't want to miss out on the pretty good treasure like the original comes, or I believe there's a couple mithrils later on and stuff like that. But that is pretty much everything that we can do, upstairs. Let's go ahead and turn the crystal back down to the lower level, and let's go ahead and go down to the lower level. I believe the lower level is actually going to take us back to an area we've kind of been to before. And I was kind of right. This waterway down here is an area that we've been to before, so let's go ahead and go over here into the right lift stop first. This lift stop over here I always thought was kind of funny, because all this is, there's nothing. Oh man, I didn't mean to go back down there. But anyway, all this is one statue, and if you examine it, you get a whole bunch of MP and a mithril. So obviously they knew that they were requiring a lot of MP from their players, so they put in a crystal to get some MP, and I guess they threw in a mithril just for the heck of it. But if we go down here, we're going to be in an area that is pretty familiar if you guys have watched it. I think it was actually just last episode that we were here. This is actually that area with the blue Trinity in it, which might be kind of hard to tell from, all the angles that we're at right now. But it is on the floor right there, so let me go ahead and take out these remaining enemies real quick. And out of this blue Trinity, we get a cottage, I think that's in a Mega Ether, and there's something goofy standing on, and yet another Mega Potion. So we got a Mega Potion out of that turning thing a while back, and I believe, and if you don't know what I'm talking about by the turning thing, it was that thing in the library, and we just got one right there. So I don't know. Back in the early game, we were getting Mega Potions all over the place, and they kind of fell off a little bit. Luckily, we're getting quite a few here, and I think there's just more of these things right behind me. Hopefully, Donald can take care of them. Might as well help him out with a piece of, fire magic there. But we've pretty much done everything that we can do in the middle area here, and the next course of action is actually to go out, to the Castle Gates area, I believe is what it's called. At this point, if you haven't activated, there's a red crystal back at the beginning of the level that you should have, activated. I think I did in the last episode. Hopefully I did anyway. And it will actually make that moving platform over there move. So if you haven't done that, I recommend going to do that. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and take care of these enemies. Man, I took out that wyvern in style there, but we learned, what did I just learn? Combo plus. That'll actually help as far as, you know, getting some damage done on the ground, because we'll be able to do like 4 hits instead of just 3. Now, you do want to be careful not to fall off in this area, because you have to go all the way back through that, like, you know, Heartless Emblem door and all of that stuff down by the library to get back up here. And I'm not sure, by the way, that red crystal activated this moving platform. I'm not entirely sure if that's even necessary, because it looks like you would just be able to glide over here. Let me check. Actually, that's kind of sketchy. I don't think you could glide over here. But over here, we actually get some Dalmatians, I believe. Yep, Dalmatians 94, 95, and 96. We are getting very, very close to finishing, you know, the Dalmatian side quest. Hopefully I can get over here without falling down. This is where I always tend to fall off. Now, speaking of gliding, this is the part where I was, you know, talking about. Down there, through those gates, like on the other side of the wall, is a, you know, a crystal that makes that platform move. That is the one that I am not sure if it's even entirely necessary to activate or not, because it looks like this is the part where it looks like you can just glide all over the place. So I'm not sure if that's necessary to actually activate or not, but there actually is some pretty good treasure up here, so if it is, you know, if it does turn out to be necessary, it's probably a good thing to actually activate it. But we get a Holy G, and that, well, I forgot what the other one was. I think it was an Ritual Come. So we're actually getting a whole lot of those lately, and probably in the next episode, or maybe the next episode after that, I will probably be doing a whole lot of synthesis, and those Ritual Comes are going to help out a lot. But let me go ahead and speed this back up so I can get over there again. Alright, so I probably didn't have to wait that long to, you know, jump to get over here, but I didn't really want to take the chance of falling back down again. But if we activate this crystal, we can actually go back up, or, you know, for the first time, go up to another level. I'm not sure if there's going to be enemies up here or not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But if we examine this crystal here, we're actually going to be put on this platform. And I know for a fact that there's going to be a whole lot of enemies here. But not, you know, at first. Pretty much what it does is allow you to ride it pretty peacefully for the first half of the ride, and then it spawns a whole bunch of enemies. So let me go ahead and speed up this little segment right here really quick, because literally all it is just waiting for this to get over to that little platform over there. Alright, so it looks like we've made it to yet another platform over here. Back here, I believe this has yet another Dispel G in it. Yes, it does. So, like I said, not really sure why they're giving us so many Dispel Gs, but guys, this Blue Trinity is the final Blue Trinity in the entire game. I can't believe we finished off the Red Trinities and the Blue Trinities in, you know, one level, pretty much. In one episode, in fact. Let me go ahead and check and make sure. I don't want to be wrong. Trinity list. Trinity Jump and Trinity Charge are done, so let's go ahead and end this episode here, guys. In the next episode, we're going to be finishing Hollow Bastion. I think at the end of the last episode, I said we're going to be finishing Hollow Bastion in this episode, but it got a little bit longer than I thought, and there are quite a few boss fights coming up. So I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts, and I can't wait to see you guys back for the next episode.